This land of ours is under attack. Time has come, we're gonna take it back. Just wait and see. Don't tread on me. I won't sit back, stand idly by, and watch the heart of my nation die. Oh, not me. Don't tread on me. Don't tread on my Bible, don't tread on my guns, don't you tread on my faith in God's only Son. Don't tread on me. Don't tread on me.
Oh yeah, this is the thing I promised, by the way.
What's that?
People ask me why their grandparents or great-grandparents never talked about the reset. Why don't they remember anything about it? Well, let me try to explain it. First, there were the Cabbage Patch Babies. Now, these weren't just toys, you see. They became a symbol of something much bigger, a massive repopulation effort after the reset. These babies, they weren't born the usual way. They were produced almost mechanically in large numbers and distributed through a cold, efficient system. Strange, isn't it? Brings to mind ideas like cloning, doesn't it? And maybe that's why today you see so many folks who just seem to go with the flow. No questions, no thinking. Did you know they say nearly half the population doesn't even have an internal monologue? Imagine that, living life with a quiet mind, just following along. Those babies, those orphan trains, they were shipped off along with abandoned children who had survived the reset, taken from their families, sent to faraway lands. Many ended up in America. And when they got there, they were given a new story, the official version of history. No elders left to tell them the truth. Nobody to remember how things used to be. It made them easier to control, you see, easier to accept the new narrative. People ask me why they're...
You saw the all-seeing eye, didn't you, at the end?
Yeah, well, that's true because, I mean, like, okay, for instance, you remember all the world fairs in the 1800s?
Yeah.
Well, I seen pictures of rooms. They're hard to find, but rooms of babies in incubators. And the world fairs were the perfect excuse to tear down the building from the people from their Great Reset. The Tartarian, because why is it everywhere you go, you see what we consider Roman architecture? Why? And how did our founding fathers, Washington, D.C., build these magnificent buildings?
Way back then, you're right. Or carve into marble the way that they did.
Yeah. And then I seen pictures of the Capitol where literally half of it is buried. Do you remember after the January 6th? And then in front of the Capitol, they were digging down really deep.
Yeah, everybody was thinking they were going to hang Congress and everything.
Oh, yeah, that was in the White House. I wouldn't doubt those could have been gallows in front of the White House. They were in front of those were in front of the White House.
No, I know that they were, but I know it was something else because it's not going to be hidden from us. I know that we're still fighting a secret war of like Putin said, we don't know who was ruling America at that time. We know who took over America because there is absolutely zero doubt they're trying to kill him. They're trying to lawfare him right now. They're trying to destroy his name right now. They're trying to bring others down with him, like the Tesla stuff.
In John, I mean, the lawfare stuff. So see, the first article in the Constitution, that's the legislation. Second article, that is the executive branch, Trump, president. The third article, that is judicial. That has no authority to control the electoral. I mean, the executive branch. Absolutely none. That's why President Trump's not listening. He just sent the one guy they just arrested, the head of the MS-13. They just caught 30 minutes from D.C. Him and some other people just got sent back today or yesterday to El Salvador to join their little buddies in the prison. He didn't listen to that judge. That judge is absolutely corrupted out. And that judge was, in fact, he is a Canadian citizen still.
Hey.
Yeah. Which should have never, ever been confirmed by Congress.
Did you see this part, Steve?
Just before 6 o'clock this morning, SWAT teams surrounded the home of 24-year-old Henry Villatoro Santos, believed to be one of the top 3 leaders of MS-13 on the East Coast. The multi-agency operation led by the FBI blocked off Chippendale Circle. According to court documents, agents breached the front and back doors of the home, released a stun grenade before pulling the suspect out of the home. Authorities say they've had their eyes on his Dale City home where Santos lives with his mom for the entire month. Some of these agents are members of a special task force created by President Donald Trump. Their job is to locate and arrest illegal immigrants responsible for violent crimes in the country.
We've taken a high-profile criminal off the streets.
Santos was taken into custody on an outstanding immigration warrant. During the search of the home, officials say they found several firearms, ammunition, and 2 suppressors.
I am very ecstatically happy with the performance of today's action, and that is another step in the goal of us in public safety.
And by the way, we the American people voted for that.
Yeah.
That we voted for was law.
Oh, and that's the problem with the judicial system attempting to stop the executive branch from doing what we the people voted for. How is it you have 1 or 2 or a handful of people that can override the will of the people? Article 2 cannot be messed with these guys. They're low-lying in the district. They can't so they can dictate, oh, well, you can't get those tax cuts, Congress. You can't give those tax cuts to the American people. That's illegal. Well, let me write out a lawsuit against that.
With my corrupted officials. Okay.
Yeah.
Steve, let's all have a moment of silence as it goes down. Bye.
Talk about dismantling the deep state.
Yeah. And just so we know, that guy had enough meth to kill you and me and about 4 other people in him.
Well, we should try to find this. There was actually, where that was at, Baltimore? There was a mural of him on a brick wall, and a cloud came in, and a lightning bolt struck the mural and blew the wall up. And then the cloud dissipated. Remember hearing that?
Oh yeah, I got the pictures of that. Yeah.
Yeah, but you got to see if you can't find them.
In the Rolodex.
Oh, okay. Never mind. We'll find them for next time.
I might have to type it in real quick, but also on that same order, Steve, did you see this that they're doing in California too? And then I'll jump off to another. This is outside of Tennessee dealership. That they're having rallies like this. And they're all standing outside of it. Oh, also not to mention, it's voting time. Which we gotta talk after this about that.
Well, Minnesota's supposed to have a big vote for the Supreme Court
Are they
tomorrow, and they can't let that lady win. They're gonna redistrict everything, and we're gonna lose 2 seats.
This one says California. But no, you're right. Trump said that he wants to he had someone drop out of the race so they could keep their seat for an emergency.
Oh yeah, that was that lady, because he didn't want to take a chance. He was going to make her an ambassador, and he didn't want to take the chance in them losing that seat till they get the corruption fixed. The main thing is to get the corruption fixed.
You're right. I want to go to Tesla, and then I have something to make you laugh, Steve. And then there's a God food. Someone said it's a God. I don't want to know if you heard about it, but Yeah, there's something today. Actually, this one kind of will make you laugh too. It's kind of funny but sad situation of what's going on with the world today, where you have, forgive me for me doing crap again like this.
Free service.
Free service. How about you pay for the repairs? Write a check. You just bought a Tesla.
I can wipe it off
No,
with a towel.
no,
It's not
no.
a key.
It is a
It was
hate crime,
it was
sir.
A crayon.
It is a hate crime.
Listen,
Did you write a swastika on there?
I'm sorry you're upset.
Did you write a
It didn't even-
swastika?
It didn't even work.
He's just scratching in the car, lean down and
Apparently
you-
it doesn't.
You know, it is so
Swastika
stupid.
on the-
Those things
It's a
have
key, sir.
cameras.
We see it on the
It's
video.
not a key.
Did you? Is it a
I was probably
swastika?
putting my keys
Is
in
it
my
a
pocket.
swastika?
Have you looked at your
Is
car?
it a
Is there
swastika?
a key mark?
Yes. Is it
It's
a
not-
swastika?
that's
It's at the
impossible.
police right now. It's being fingerprinted
What do you mean it's being fingerprinted?
because they're trying to track you down. Thankfully, Facebook tracked you down. So your business, your freaking livelihood, everything now,
Listen.
because you chose to write so to tell Facebook that you're sorry for writing a swastika on a Tesla.
Listen, I said I'm sorry.
For what?
And I
For what? For
apologize.
what?
I have nothing against
For
your
what?
car, and I have nothing against you.
So why
Okay.
did you write a swastika on a Tesla?
Obviously, I have something against Elon Musk, but that's not the
So
way
Elon
to show
Musk
my.
owns that car because
No,
it was
he
bought
owns
and
the
paid
company.
for. It was bought and paid for a long time
That's
ago.
why it's misguided, and obviously, I did not intend to do this.
All right,
sir.
we're gonna wait for the.
Free service. You know,
what'd you say, Steve?
That's ridiculous.
And they act like everything's free. And he was God to them 8 months ago before he went to the Trump thing. Well, before July. And yeah, they're just the way that they're doing that part. And then also, while we're on that political, Steve, remember what we discussed the other day? I wanted to look up to find out who is running, what judges are running, what because I have to vote here in a couple of days, and I want to know who's running, so who to research and find out who's satanic, who's not satanic, and our GOP is failing us by not having it all gathered in one location.
I know that's something the GOP should put together for every state.
Yep.
So we know that who is, Democrat and Republican, conservative, because the judges are supposed to be impartial. Excuse me, but we know they're not. That's why they don't put the Democrat and Republican DNR there, because they're neutral. No, they're not. They know that they would never. Let me put a stop on this. Hang on. They know that they would never get elected. The judges in the country, a lot of the Democrats would have been voted out. So, like you said, if the Republican Party went to each state and gave out information and say, look, we're not going to hand it out, but this is where you get the information for your state on who's who.
Yeah, you're right. Like it just makes it so much more simplistic for everybody to
A lot of
deal with.
time, yeah, with the judges, I'm like, for hours I've been in there trying to read their dissents, trying to get a sense of who's who, and it's like, and there's nowhere. There used to be a thing called Clear the Bench here in Colorado. I couldn't find that anymore.
Oh,
They would list it, who's Republican and Democrat.
yeah.
I don't care if it's a Rhino Republican. I'm still going to vote for them over a Dem any day.
No, I agree, but just I agree to a certain point, because I'm to that point now where we here in Nebraska had to vote for the Ricketts, the Bacon, the I can't think of the others, but we had all nothing but rhinos this last time, because all the other real ones that came up, that Trump actually came out here and rallied for, all either dropped out due to corruption. Like, oh well, like Herbster's wife, our governor, ex-governor, or supposed to be governor, his wife is no longer around. He could not deny that he was not doing things with some woman, and then all of a sudden he dropped out and the woman just went away to the wayside. Oh,
That's what they do. They disappear.
Yeah.
Nothing happens.
But no, it just leaves a bad taste in your mouth to have rhinos. And then, you know,
Oh
they
yeah,
don't do
but
anything.
they're still screwing us.
Yeah, like we didn't forget about what happened 5 years ago with you guys. Oh, you're switching now, but okay, you're still not doing enough now here. Like for example, 70% of us here in Nebraska voted for legalization of medical marijuana in November 4th. They're dragging their balls and trying to say, "Oh, we want synthetic, we want pills." No, there's people out there that are suffering that need that shit, that don't want to go have seizures, don't want to have other bad symptoms with it, or and have to deal with all the other bullshit of having to do shit. The reason why I'm cursing because you know, you have to go do shit illegally and federally illegally because it's a bunch of bullshit to go and grab yourself some plants that God intended. It's not like it's coke or anything that's done with, you know, sulfuric acid and shit like that. It's literally a seed that brought up and you grabbing the fruits of it,
Yeah.
using it as medicine. And I'm about to show a video after this of other medicine that does, you know, does something similar that helps out with people without the psychoatric effects of it. But anyways, the reason why I say that is then you got these corrupt guys not doing anything. Not just about that. It's not just all the other stuff that we voted for. Our roads are getting crappier. It's a minefield everywhere. We voted for that years ago.
Yeah.
You guys are not fulfilling your end of going up and keeping. Oh, who cares about people complaining about roads being closed? Maybe it might slow your asses down for a minute. You might actually go the speed limit for once, because it's not just you. If it was your ignorant ass going down the road at 180 miles an hour, then who gives a flying shit? But no, you can't control grandma. You can't control the young kid that's learning how to drive, when to pull out. They're not going to be looking for your ass way up the road. You guys are thinking about this. Or what I just mentioned, pothole. You could hit a pothole and jump over 2-3 lanes. I actually did that in Dallas, Texas, Steve. I didn't know how the road was.
Yeah.
But it's yeah, I mean, it's just the way that it was. That's,
yeah. Well, I just sent you a thing too on the nation's capital.
Yeah.
That it'd be interesting. We'll look at that next time. We'll break it down. But I mean, there's just like, you know, I look at here Colorado. The roads are falling apart. It's dirty downtown. I-70 going to Denver looks like crap. There's dirt, weeds, paper. When I was a kid, the interstates were like spick and span. Didn't find trash. All the weeds were cleaned. But you go to another state like Arkansas, Missouri, especially Arkansas. Oh my gosh. Their roads are like perfect. The weeds, there's no weeds. Everything's perfect. But this state and all the blue states, the roads and the areas are dilapidated and they're falling apart. I feel sorry for the people in Washington. They're talking a 200% tax increase on those people.
The only positive part is, Steve, it's actually beautiful up there. I want to go visit one day.
Oh, it is. That's my home, Washington State.
Yeah.
But I can't go back there because it's infiltrated with,
right now, the
garbage.
Within this 5 years, Steve, right now you can't go back. You will, within 5 years, you'll be able to go back because we are taking it back. And what you mentioned earlier, I forgot to say, is we need to turn from our wicked ways.
Yes.
And God will hear us from heaven and heal our land. And that's what I mean by all this other part.
That's right. And he is. America's getting healed. So I'm tired of hearing these people talking like we're going to be destroyed. And they're always talking Trump's the Antichrist. You know what? Stop with the Antichrist. We know there will be an Antichrist. But right now, we take care of our families. We follow Yahuwah. We follow his commandments. We don't need to worry about that stuff. We know it's coming. We don't need to worry about it. Quit trying to predict this stuff because every damn one of you are messing up. Because most of you are false. Most of you are false. Bunch of money grubbing, false prophets.
They're for profit, not prophetic.
You just start tickling and your people getting your ears tickled. Be careful. Be careful. Turn to the word, turn to prayer, a biblical congregation and plug yourself in.
That's
But
the only way.
Go ahead.
No, I agree. That's the only way to be, Steve. If because there's just too much sin going on now, and even being younger, it's hard to. Well, now I'm starting not being much younger, but it's hard in society to even start a family or court with people or court with women.
Well, that's because the courting thing has been so changed, like with the dating sites and stuff like that, and they make it too easy, and it's like, most of the people on there are lying anyways. You see them in real life and go, that ain't you.
Yeah, I'm laughing because Steve, it's like, oh, hi, sweetie, how you doing? My name is Jenny. Here's a crotch pic. What? I mean, why is it that quickly? What the hell's going on?
Yeah.
I was on Plenty of Fish for a while, and that that's what it was. That's literally what it was. It was almost like a porn site. You're right, Steve, and it's like it took everything out of it. It's the same as what you go to the gym. It just takes all the fun out of it if you already know what the exciting part is that you're supposed to be waiting for.
Oh yeah, there are some girls at the gym that got the painted on clothes. And then it makes it kind of awkward because you want to look because you're a guy. I mean, you're going to look. Okay. But you try not to look. So you're purposely, and it's noticeable, you're purposely looking away. Like, better not look.
You might get kicked out.
Oh no, I'm going to be on YouTube as a creeper. Oh no, there's Grandpa Creeper over there.
On that note, Steve, here's another funny one for you. I thought it was hilarious.
肚子好想放屁啊！后面是雾的，只有我才好节奏，会有人注意到吗？
你这个屁放1个2个也就算了，放那么多谁能受得了？放不存在啊！要不要表演，姑娘？就要呀！这边放的。
What? We don't exist. I said a good laugh because.
Oh my gosh, man. That's just so funny. All that's funny. Kind of getting back thing we were touching on the prophet stuff. Now I have listened to a couple of people, they have dreams. I accept those way more than verbally hearing a voice. Dreams or visions, or an angel would actually come to you and give you a message. But yeah, so because I was listening to someone today that I've listened to before, it has dreams, and I think he's pretty right on a lot of times, but they're dreams, and they don't come every day. It may be 1 and 2 months apart, maybe a little longer, maybe 6 months. Because in the days of old and the prophets, God wasn't given prophecy every day.
I mean, take a look at Kim Komet. I mean, I'll mention a name for one.
Yeah.
He was actually, he predicted 2 presidents. Yep. And he wasn't getting it every time. I mean, he would have, and that's what I honestly think a lot of the prophets nowadays, the redhead, or not the redhead, but the multiple color head, the metal jacket, like we mentioned earlier, and the Manda guy, I think. We don't know if it's really
prophet.
But what we feel that way, well, you went red for a minute, but anyways, what we feel is from experience and feeling spiritually that some of these saw that feeling of where he was traveling and he got quite a bit of money. I could do the same thing too, and then start talking about that way. We've also seen other prophets like Mark Taylor just go away, and it's not like we need him right now. We don't need him.
He said what he was supposed to say.
Yeah.
And he was done.
Yeah.
So, and that's the way it works. You don't get these things. I get visions, I have dreams, but they're not every night. They may be a few months out, maybe a year out. You just don't get them like that. So just everybody just has to be careful. We just have to be careful. We're in a time of people are looking so hard. We want to find the truth, but unfortunately, it's easier to listen than to study for yourself. I mean, find some people you can plug into, like I plug into the God Culture, Parable of the Vineyard, with Adam, and I listen to John Truth, and there's a couple other people I listen to. Then when I learn, I decipher. And a lot of times they're pretty well right on, scripturally. But that's why I stay with them, because I know they are. And then I can go research stuff, because I'm into ancient Hebrew. That's where it's at. Let's go back as far as we can go back, because Constantine and canonization in 382 or 400, the Bible, the scripture had already been canonized. They just took it apart because there's things in there they didn't want us to know.
Do you remember that other guy used to watch online? Remember he had a computer or the TV right here and he kept tapping it constantly. You remember him?
Oh yeah, that's
Troy Smith or something like that.
Yeah, that guy's he's pretty good. I mean, he digs into a lot of stuff and he uses uses outside sources like Gilgamesh and stuff like that, his writings and stuff, and it just for showing continuity with the actual scripture. And he brings things up. I mean, maybe not everything's 100%, but I think the guy's okay. I listen to him. But you still want to research stuff though.
Yep. No, I was just the reason why we haven't mentioned him very much, because Steve used to watch him all the time 4 years ago, is he doesn't release much anymore. It's maybe once every couple months or once every month.
Yeah, he does.
It used to be a little more frequent.
On Destiny, Grace of Destiny, or some House of Destiny. I seen him on there the other day, and that's actually Kim Clement's daughter that runs that. So they're always going over his prophecies and stuff like that. Now that guy, I would say that, yeah, that guy definitely was a prophet of God. Something about him. But there are other ones, they make these predictions and they don't come true. So far, everything Tim Clement has brought up, provided you decipher what he says correctly, has been pretty much right on.
And that's why you have to judge the tree by its fruits, not by, oh wow, that is cool. Oh, there's tunnels and combs underneath the earth. Like for example, that video I just showed, he would have someone edit out the part or have the guy not talk it, I'll mute underneath and go, oh yeah, these are domes underneath the facility. Hold on, that is in, he'll come up with a place.
Yeah.
And
it's something, you got to give credit to the people that have found stuff.
Yeah.
And that teach things. I mean, we're all this guy. Let's look, here's a link. Go here. Because, hey, we ran across this. Go look at this. We're all working together here.
We're all students. And that's another thing, too, what you just mentioned. We should not hate one another or attack one another, like us as in, attacking Charlie Kirk or other. I don't want to mention any other podcast, because once we start mentioning personal podcasts, then, but like I'm saying, others like that we know personally, they should not take it as in, we're competition or we're fighting. No, we're all, and I used to work for the guys too. And we're not competition. We're all here together sharing information. We could bounce off each other or stuff like that. But no, it's the way greed got into it. And I heard the
The
numbers.
amount of money that I've seen go through some of these people's hands,
Bingo.
unbelievable.
They've showed us and talked about.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. And Steve, some of it is frivolous stuff, man. I mean, you don't need to go buy a brand new vehicle or I'm not going to mention makes or anything, models, but brand new this, or live in a multi-story house. And I'm talking cathedral ceilings, in the best parts of never mind. I'm not going to give any more detail because I don't want to give state or city.
Yeah. I mean, here, let me pause this again.
Yeah, but lavish places is what I was discussing. Not hating or anything. It's just
it's
you spend your money is different. The way you made it through your congregation, and the way that you're paying back your congregation was not right now. Now I see he's acting a little bit differently. He's letting people on pause and pray and talk like when Juan's on, but other shows I don't know how it's working. With that said situation, I saw Set and Spin's no longer there.
Yeah, well, it's just
I don't know what
just have and the thing is, the big thing is this, and I'm going to mention this too. This is about Trump and the cabinet, and that Yahuwah has put into certain positions. Let's just be patient. I want to see people arrested too. I want to see justice. But man, there's a lot of stuff that's got to be fixed, and things have to be done correctly. Seriously. So what? We don't see the Epstein files. We'll get to that later. We got to work with Doge. We have to work with getting our economy back online.
Yeah, people got to get their Doge checks.
Right.
I mean, not just like that.
Yeah, and then we can arrest people. We can look at all the ancient, like the Epstein files. Right now, they're just a distraction. Let's focus on praying for President Trump and the cabinet for his protection, and removing the evilness from our land. Aphrodite's Baal, Baal, and yeah, I meant Baal, and Medusa. So just pray to remove the evil spirit from the land, and it is getting removed. We're doing better and better and better. We are. Yahuwah is removing them. Say what you're going to say. I'm sorry there.
All right. It is. It's I don't really have anything to say. You just reminded me of something that I saw earlier on a post of that they're manning Diego Garcia. That was the base I was trying to tell you about earlier. It's in the Indian Ocean, where some of our stealth bombers and other things, there's like 4 or 5 stealth bombers sitting there waiting. Or not waiting, but sitting there, manning out there, and a couple other aircraft. And I thought that was quite interesting because I was told that was the same thing. Yeah, someone deleted it.
Yeah. Well, Iran is the kingpin of the terrorism and supplying them. And they have a lot of their air defenses have been neutralized already by Israel. So if they don't come to grips here, they will get finished off.
Oh yeah. Speak about finished off, Steve.
Honestly, if it makes you happy, it doesn't have to make sense to anyone else.
That's exactly how I'm looking at my screen when I first found out.
Oh yeah, that's pretty crazy. Yeah. But anyways,
no, go ahead.
We have to try to bring the things under control, and so we have to cut off the supply to the terrorist, and that is Iran. And the Iranian people in themselves, they're nice people. It's the government that's corrupt as hell.
Yep.
We know that. Power hungry, corrupt, but the Iranian people are nice people. A lot of people were nice people. Go ahead.
No, where they got the money.
Yeah.
No, you're right. It's the same thing as with the Russian people. It's not the people. It's the well, I mean, because everybody's told us to hate them now, or it's not the Pakistani people, even though they do a lot of stupid crap of making women put their hijabs
Yeah,
on.
some of that stuff is over the top. But I'm just talking in general, most people.
Oh, that's what I mean.
Yeah, anywhere you go in the world, you get the government out of the way in the news media, you're going to get along with everybody. I'm serious. You will get along. When I've traveled, you get along with everybody. Rarely ever meet anybody that's that hateful. Well, we do have people here, and there are some of the extremes now, the George Soros group.
Well, look at North Korea.
North
Korea is they're trained from little kids in not high school. That's too old. And preschool to hate Trump, hate America.
Oh yeah.
People are visiting over there now.
In China also.
Yeah.
China's in a population serious problem. They're actually probably, I've been listening to a lot of stats from a lot of the science people out of there that deal with censuses and stuff like that. So from 20 to 2023, they were getting nailed with COVID so bad, they built a lot more crematoriums. And they said the smoke was so bad that you would gag. There were so many burning. So the real population from these other sources, and we'll find, I'll go ahead and link them so you can go watch for yourself. They're probably down 800 million, maybe to 500 million, and they're thinking close to 500 million people. That's how much they've shrunk. Because you go into, I've seen a lot of podcast videos of the major cities, pretty well empty.
Yeah, you'll see Ghost City and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, these cities, they're Beijing and stuff is empty. Hardly anybody's on the street because they show pictures of, before COVID and then after, night and day. And then they go. Same thing in Japan. You can go to Japan, the government will give you a house.
Not here. Well, actually, if you come across the border illegally, the government will give you a house.
They give you a new Social Security. They give you a Social Security number. You get on Medicaid. You get Social Security. Oh yeah, and then a lot of the illegals that get a Social Security number, those numbers, the Social Security money from where they're working goes into a separate pool.
Did you watch the full interview that you sent or were talking to me about, Steve, on the phone, where you were saying that the Doge, where they were being interviewed, he said that when they mentioned, well, what happens is when they're going to, are you guys going to cancel people with disability and people with Social Security benefits? He goes, no, actually quite the opposite. They're actually going to get more money because they're going to have all these false people going off. And they even said the same thing about disability. I was like, really?
He said, because there's so many fraudulent, actually from 2008, they knew there were 15 million people over 100 or like over 115 or 120 collecting Social Security from 2008.
My interesting,
it's been getting worse. Go ahead.
Part I want to know is how they came to that number, Steve. No, not Doge. How the deep state's like, you know what? We need 117 of these in here. We need, because this is all methodically planned. It's not like just
that's up somebody. In a lot. What's been happening? A lot of these illegal aliens that come in, they give them numbers. They go work for a company. That money that's paid towards Social Security from the company, their Social Security money is directed into another lockbox. It's not going back into the pool. One of the whistleblowers, I was listening to in Georgia courtroom about a month ago or 2 months ago. There's over $1 trillion in that lockbox from all the years that they've had these people taking their Social Security number. And it's crazy. Every single freaking agency has been used as a money laundering operation to steal from us.
Why do you think small government has been mentioned? And they're freaking out about it because, and they got their minions to do the same thing because that's what they told them is, you know, it's like, for example, Steve, they're a threat to our democracy. If you read, we're a constitutional republic, not a democracy, period, full stop.
Right. And that's what, but see, they want that. That's why they keep saying it.
Yep.
They want chaos because a democracy could be chaos.
Well, remember, chaos, they get chaos or they get order out of chaos.
Yeah.
That's their motto.
Yeah. But look at their cities. Every one of their cities is falling down apart. So yeah, but Elon Musk said he had cameras. Now you guys, I want the cameras on me now. Everybody will get an increase in Social Security.
And it's like I told you, it's about time because I remember, Steve, my grandma's been on Social Security ever since I remember when I was younger, and always been on a budget. Well, I mean, I get that they sold her father's farm, which is the dumbest thing they should have done. They should have never done that because it went to, oh, I'll pay for sure. Because, you know, they're buying so much shit out here and land because it was right on the border between your lovely state and Nebraska.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm from Colorado, so, and it disgusts me and my parents of what we see when we go back there and visit constantly because we got family out there. But anyways,
yeah,
they sold that, and we know that the CCP was buying up tons of land, which they're slowly starting to outlaw that of other countries buying up land here. And same thing with the houses, Steve. I feel the same way because there's just way too much renting going on right now.
Well, it's because the houses are so expensive, but you can't afford a $3,000 a month house. But oh man, you could definitely afford that $3,000 a month apartment. That's okay. You can. Yeah, the system is designed. It's an enslavement system, and this brings me to something. In my vision, I had probably last week. First, I thought it was like this. I was creating a meme in my head. And no, it was a vision. It's pretty. And in the vision, the Federal Reserve was absolutely wicked and corrupt, enslaving us. And in the distance was President Trump approaching them. And when it's in the distance, it's coming. But he will say, Yahuwah says, let my people go. Let them go. Because we're going to go into a different financial system that removes the Federal Reserve, who dictates interest rates rather than the economy dictating interest rates. Yeah. Because if you got one guy controlling everything, but if you got, it sets an interest rate, everybody's controlled. But if you got a bunch of banks competing for your loan, those interest rates are going to vary. They're not going to have one source saying, this is what the interest rate is. Now, maybe I'm being too simple, but if you lower the interest rates quite a bit, you know, like they should be doing, can you imagine how much money will flow directly into the economy? But back to this saying, President Trump is like our Moses. We're getting freed from the Federal Reserve. We're getting freed from the tyranny of the evildoers that have been stealing everything from us and enslaving us to their system. You work all your life, and then you end up with $2,000 a month in your Social Security. If you didn't do any investments, how the heck are you going to get by?
Seriously. Going to Congress, you go in a thousandaire, Steve, and you come out a millionaire.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know. Oh, and that's another thing. Elon says they're going to be investigating all the congressmen because they're really curious how somebody makes 175 to 200,000 a year, and all of a sudden 2 years later they're worth $20 million. Dang, they need to have a class.
And you know what's really funny is when they go to your district, let's say Trump goes to your district and you decide to do some little rally too, and no one shows up to yours and everybody shows up to Trump's and you get all pissy about it. Makes you think, because if they were really about you, you know, it's easy to go get money. Because, for example, like Giuliani, all he has to do is put out a book or something like that, and people will not like flock to it, but you know, it's a way for him to get money. But it's something like AOC's dumbass, for example, no one would go buy it. She could put out a porno, and I don't really think guys would go buy it.
Well, she's aging quickly, if you noticed. In a short bit of time, I see a lot of aging in her face.
I think
because she's in the demonic side of the world. If you walk in the demonic side and you live like that, you will age. It's negative, hateful energy. But fill yourself with the Spirit and pray to Yahuwah. Myself, I'll share this with you because I'm searching the old ways, the ancient ways. Ran across where Daniel prayed 3 times a day. He faced Israel. And so I do the same thing. I only face Israel because that's where Jerusalem, because that's where Yeshua was crucified. That's why I face that, but 3 times a day. And sometimes I mess and forget, but I work on that. And my relationship with Yahuwah grows. So, and when you're watching these guys that we're mentioning, you'll grow closer because you're going to start seeing and understanding things better. Not the seminary preacher up there in the congregation. Some are, but most of them are set in stone. And I call them seminary preachers because they're preaching what the seminaries teach them rather than what we should be being taught. I wish like heck we had the original Levi priests back. I really do, with their knowledge.
Like that video I showed you last week where the guy says close the doors. If everybody gave $20 in here and gave $100 on stage, it'd be $40,000 right now.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did I play that last week? I thought I did.
No, yeah, the one guy they pulled aside.
No, there was another one. I gotta find it.
Yeah, what about, I mean, on tithing too? We should do something on tithing. We'll take it from the book of Tobit.
Oh, it's this one right here.
How he tithed.
I thought.
And they understand the cost that is involved. There's 1,000 of you. I said, close them doors. Ushers, close the doors. Close the doors. Close the doors. It's 1,000 that's watching online. This is a small seed. If I get 1,000 online to give this, if I get 1,000 in the sanctuary to give this, that's $40,000 tonight. Now, everyone up here, we've all sold and seeded, but I need everyone standing up here with us, with me, to plant a seed of $100. Because again, it costs to sit up here. And this is what I need you to do. If you're giving electronically, or even if you're giving tangibly, I'm going to have y'all come to the altar and give it, because I need to see 1,000 people moving. Bring them baskets. I want the baskets up here. I want to see the folk. Y'all start moving. Y'all can bring it right now. Come. 1,000 people need to give $20. 1,000 people need to give $20. 1,000 people online need to give $20. This is easy, saints. And they understand the.
That's one of the reasons I don't go to church. I thought I showed that to you, Steve.
Yeah, well, when I was going to the one up in Greeley, they weren't like that at all. Nothing, man. I do like that congregation up there.
Well, first of all,
you know,
they weren't.
What?
They weren't black.
No, but I mean the congregations you go to, they don't act that way. It's only the big giant congregations where they act that way.
The mega churches, yeah.
But they do. The preachers up there got to have their $12,000 suits on and their $25,000 Rolex.
Of course.
Have their $200,000 Bentley sitting outside.
Speaking about Bentley, Steve, I found the video I was talking about.
Yeah.
On top field dragsters, this is what happens when it takes off. That's idling right there, which is
Yeah.
most cars taking off. Wait till you see what happens when it takes off with 120 gallon per hour. Well, that's during the run, but it says 16 to 18 gallons here, but
Wow.
their pump actually today is 120 gallons. That's how they can get 11 to 12,000 horsepower with the nitromethane.
Insane.
Yeah.
We go
I found the eyeball where we were talking about the other day.
on what? The eyeball?
Your Vril. Not your Vril, but Vril.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, actually, 6 types of women to avoid according to the Bible. You seen this?
No, we don't need to watch that one tonight.
Yeah.
You can if you want.
Oh crap, where to go? I had it. Oh, right here.
It said once reach the called the Vril. They come up from underground different spots all over the world. There's a 1 to 1.5 foot tall one. That's the Vril Type 1.
The Type 1s are covered in red diamond shaped scales. Vril Type 1s are real dumb.
Little dragons, those are the Vril Type 1.
These lizards have a unique biological property of their bodies.
The lizards have what's called a proboscis.
It's an ejectable brain and spinal column.
The small ones they use to drone people because the proboscis on young lizard Type 1s, they're small enough to go into an eye and not ruin the eye.
This top cap thing on the top of their head comes out. They can do this once in their life. It pulls their spinal column along with it. The human would have to be restrained or unconscious.
The thing squiggles in through the eye. It does a spiral around the optic nerve all the way to a certain point, and it's driven there by taste. And they said once it gets there, it has the taste of butterscotch. It then starts what they call the spinal cord stuff comes out of the spinal cord, and it's everything that the lizard is. The lizard's whole body is dead, and it can't go back in. It's one way.
The juice that's in the spinal cord gets excreted out of the tip of this thing. They're parasitic cells. The parasitic cells go into the brain.
The old person's consciousness is gone. The body is absolutely, totally dominated, and the lizard is smarter as a human. Over time, it'll develop a rash, it'll lose its hair.
And they're actually deficient. They're dumber than the original person.
And they mimic human behavior, and it knows that its life is dependent on it mimicking human behavior, so it does really well. Even with other animals, it's smart enough to instinctually mimic the animal's behavior. The drones of 100 years ago erased any existence of these Vril lizards from like Egyptian carvings on walls. They would smash them, or books that had anything in them about them, they would burn them.
Yeah, so not to scare people, but the Vril is real, and that was David, or not David. That was yeah, I think it was David that we were hearing there. The guy I told you about that was just type in David and clone, and it'll pop up.
Yeah,
David Marshall. That's who they were talking about, and there was like only like 3 interviews that he ever did, and he hasn't done anything recently. I mean, within like the past 5 or 10 years.
Yeah, I've been. I remember hearing about the Vril, before. Yeah, it's kind of scary thinking that's how they get into your eye.
Yeah, you're right. Makes you start paranoid sometimes. Ah.
Yeah, but they look like they're pretty big when they put them in, though. But they didn't say they have to sedate people or do something to them.
Yeah, that's what he said. They either have to be sedated or strapped down because they start scratching at their eye, I'm assuming. Yeah, I was gonna find that Rocket Man real quick. I don't have to show you the whole thing. Wow, he switched. But yeah, this thing, Steve. It's this guy. And he talks about it's
Oh yeah, I've heard him before.
not this guy, obviously.
No, the other guy. Yeah, I've listened to him.
That guy right there. Yeah, this is one of the earlier one. And then he goes through some things. He switches things up or doesn't tell about the whole thing, or you know, because different interviews are different ways, or remind you different things, or trigger different ways. I've been there, but yeah, that's the guy I was talking about Rocket Man, and did all sorts of different things. Went into Area 51. He talked about how he was with Warner von Braun. And how he picked him up in the Playboy jet and stuff like that, and how the CIA was there and the Black Coats that were really mean that were there, and there's just a whole story that you're gonna have to listen to. Is quite interesting of how, and also he's described some of the technologies there of and also what happened in Area 51. I don't want to kill it, but
yeah,
you know, people go look at for themselves.
Yeah.
Try to put a link in the bottom, but Rumble and others, you have to be trustworthy for a while before you can do a link in the bottom. Yeah,
I know.
Freaking Nazis.
Well,
I was just gonna say they're doing Nazi behavior or Nazi-like behavior as they're calling us Nazis. It's kind of
exactly. They're doing exactly what the brown shirts did back in the old days. But luckily, we outnumber them, and they're being defunded. The quickest way to take all these guys out is for Doge to continuously find their sources of money, and they get cut off.
Yep.
They've had a lot of money cut out of them. A lot.
You're right. That's why they're kicking and screaming.
Yeah. Well, it's just like, but you know, I was listening to one of the guys that was helping Elon, and he said the people that work at Social Security were so helpful in helping them find stuff because they know where the ins and outs are, and led them to a lot of this stuff they would have had a hard time finding. So you got to commend it to them. I mean, there are people in the government that really do work hard, and they try, and they do the best they can. And especially places like Social Security, you know, they're getting hounded like crazy every day, you know.
No, you're right. I mean, there's a lot of people relying on it, Steve, or there's people that you know, they have their kids calling in, and then they're having to take time out of the day from their family to go in and call in, and it's not easy. It's not like you just call in and get some easy direct. You get direct.
No, you don't. You really don't.
I knocked some burnt bits from the barbecue, and that's what he was out there eating.
Oh yeah,
like a dummy. But no, you're right, Steve. It's not that easy to deal with the government whatsoever in any way, shape, or form.
And it's not. In his. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say whether you call in or not. You know, now you're starting to see it now. Unfortunately, with my disability, I problems I had to call in and deal with them, and some other things like food stamps that make you call every year, which is not a bad thing. But you know, with me, if my situation switched and I made more money, I'd go in and go, okay, I'll cancel it. I'm not one of those guys because, like I said, I got a conscience. When you do something bad, you get something down your gut that you know that does not make you settle right. You don't sleep right, you know, until you right that wrong.
Right.
That you could easily right, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I mean, like I said, you have to call every year. It's a pain in the ass for people like me. Like, oh fuck, around this time of year, I got to remember to call in, or else I don't get this. And it is helpful to keep that from day to day because of the prices of everything. And you know, I love to go and work, but people don't understand what's going on with me, and a lot of it I got tired of describing symptoms to people because no one gave two shits. Because you know, just like everybody's got their own problems, own symptoms, own you know.
Yeah.
They don't want to hear it. You see it in every day.
They do.
But
well, I think we're kind of reaching that end tonight.
Before you go, I have a saying for you to go off on.
Congressman Perry, do you trust Trump's national security team to keep our war plans top secret?
Do you trust your mother every night to fix your hot pockets and make sure your Game Boy is turned on?
He dated himself with the Game Boy, but still.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we did all that. Well, Adrenaline might be under those numbers that that's one thing also. If the AI, Steve, could get numbers or names like that, go through the algorithms like that, why can't they do the same thing about, okay, you got to vote for this guy, or here's your person in your district, here's your person.
Oh, that's because it's being held back because of the fact that the corruption. They know that you will not vote for certain people if you put the correct info out there.
Yeah, because a lot of other people do research. I'll actually sit there. I did this before. Sat in the
Most people don't research, though. I'm telling you. They'll go in and read their little pamphlet, and that's all they'll do.
Once I saw the pamphlet, or, actually I was at the voting booth, I was sitting there actually researching it. My aunt, which was working there, told me that, oh, we have to get the numbers in right now and get to the next person. No one else can come in and vote. I said, I don't care. I'm doing my research here to find out who's who. And then good thing I did. I found out there were some of our judges that had DUIs and got out of a DUI.
Yeah. It's a two-tier system we've been in. That's changing. That is changing.
Yep.
Just like arrests are going to come, there will be prosecutions, but given its due time. We have decades of corruption that they're going through and cleaning up. And a lot of these people got to go away. And the Democrat Party is like the Titanic. It's heading straight to the bottom.
Yeah.
And then it hits the bottom, it'll be like, and then a little bit later, all the Democrat bodies will be coming down like a rainstorm around it.
Yeah, with millstones around their necks.
Some of them will. Yeah.
Suicide weekend's coming up, and then also before.
Yeah, I keep forgetting about that. What's going to trigger suicide weekend?
That when the arrests start happening, which I was told before 2026. I don't like dates because, man, Steve, you and I have been blue-balled so damn bad about dates. It's not even funny.
Oh, I know. I know. And a couple of times I threw approximate time out, and that wasn't right. Just like Brent talking about Trump being the Moses, going to the Federal Reserve. Yeshua says, let my people go. That's coming, but we don't know when.
You're right. It's coming.
We don't know when.
And yeah, anybody that says that they do, they don't. And yeah, there's so many different proofs. But
yeah, we don't know the plan inside. We don't know the ins and outs. We have a generic idea, but that's it. That's all we have.
Yep. And you got to keep the hope, keep the faith up, because don't get discouraged. I mean, shit, I don't have. I'm down to my last $20, and for a couple more days. But it's not just financial. Don't let that get to you. Just go and try to do something pleasurable. Since it's getting springtime, go walk around. Go enjoy the birds. Go enjoy the. And also, that's another thing too, is I was told it's again parasites of why people get so allergic to the pollen and everything. I love smelling it right now this time of year, man. There's like flower smells and all. Yeah. It's weird because there's nothing out there. There was nothing out there.
Well, just get get you some. It's expensive for human ivermectin though. If you get that will clean you out.
And also a good parasite cleanser is dark walnut and what's the other one? Dark walnut and
wormwood.
Well, wormwood is ivermectin raw, in the raw form. It's the root. But what I was talking about is garlic is really good too because they don't like raw garlic. I know it's hard to eat, but maybe dip it in some honey or something like that. And then also, ta-da, you found yourself a remedy for coughing when it comes to if you ever get to that case around fall, when everybody starts getting sick.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, we'll talk to you later. I mean, you're right. It is a good show. That was a really good show. I can't count my hands.
Those guys, his brothers, they're the twins. They're so funny. I love to watch those guys. They just crack me up, man. serious, but it's just, so we gotta laugh once in a while like they do, because I mean, you just like me kind of getting upset about, false prophets, but I just don't want people to get lied to.
It's what's going on now too, Steve. You remember, you're also watching someone that you called a friend that you found years ago that has started going away. You're watching him do the same thing as the false prophets are doing, leading the sheep or the flock out of almost to the cliff, not off, because Yahuwah will not let them go off, but leading the flock away from the where they're supposed to be, the shepherd. And just because of what you're talking about, that part, or lying, or saying, "Oh, I believe in Yahuwah," when you're stoiking every woman that you can because of your show.
Yeah, and then you're like, you take other people's work and you credit it. You don't say, "Hey, this person, my buddy found this, took these pictures. I was hiking. Look at this," and it's like, "Oh, these are pictures I took."
Bill Schneider's got most of my information. Or here's another one, Steve. My complete death experiences from a book I read, instead of, oh, this is my full blown death experience, because he's going to be judged very harshly that he doesn't understand, because of when you start doing this to people, or not just lying, but when you start putting yourself into not a prophet, but a higher
kind of what do they call those guys that are like the leaders of a movement?
Jester? I don't know.
No. Yeah, I'd say the name eludes me for the second. But anyways, yeah, people look up to you, and they take what you say as being legitimate. And there's none of us on earth that everything we say is going to be correct. But there are those who purposely say things to lead people astray and for financial gain, power gain. As for myself, if I say something wrong, I just say it wrong. I made a mistake. I don't care about power and position. I really don't. In fact, I don't want to be in a leadership position. I really don't. I don't like it. Every time I turn around in military, of course I'm in the military, you're in a leadership position. I was getting stuck in those. That was okay. But it was, I don't care to do that stuff. I don't care to be a leader.
Well, it's basically, we got information that is mostly true, or is truthful, to our best abilities to verify, and we want to share the information out to others. It's the same thing as when with the good word, we're supposed to go out and share it. It's the same thing, except for we don't always share the good word during our show. Sometimes it's political, and we're showing how bad or what's going on, or what Trump is doing to sign in, or what wars he's trying to stop, because you could tell, like, Zelensky now is stopped and said, "I'm not doing the mineral thing with him," because the people in England, which has been running him and trying to run England, or running America, because of, like I said, what happened from 1776 to 60 or 1850.
Yes. And they came back in the War of 1812.
Yeah.
And basically, I think, took us back over again. But in 1872, we incorporated the country. It became a corporation in 1872.
Yep. And we were known as a colony, from not colonists like we were supposed to be, but not colonists, Commonwealth, I meant, of England.
Commonwealth, and so we're breaking away from all of that. And the bank, and like Zelensky, Ukraine, Europe is in shambles. They're in big shambles. Now they just pissed Putin off. And I would tell President Trump, well, you know what? I think we need to kind of join their side, and let's just end Zelensky and the 2nd Battalion of the SS now. Get them done, clean them out. We'll leave. Putin, here's Ukraine.
The part I was laughing
Ukrainian people, you're going to be well taken care of.
part I was laughing about is they don't understand where Europe is getting their gas from. Is still
What's
Russia.
that?
They're getting their gas from Russia.
I know Europe
And,
is.
yeah, and Europe is getting their gas from Russia. And then the other part with that is they did Real America's Voice was talking about that Europe has given more money to Russia than they have given to Ukraine. You know,
Yeah.
this war part, not because of the war, but as in, because of the material or giving the raw energy, because they don't have really much oil there in England, or not
No.
England, I meant Europe.
Europe, and that's the thing. It's like they can't piss him off. He'll cut him off. He will. And after trying to kill him the other day, that was the stupidest thing. I wouldn't doubt they're going to say Zelensky's in a meeting right now. He's going to be in there for about 2 hours. Russia says, okay. Here comes a hypersonic missile. It'll be there in 15 minutes.
He's a dictator.
He is. He's an evil, spoiled, little selfish brat. He doesn't care about his people out there getting murdered, killed, not murdered, but getting killed in the war that he created, and he's continuing on. He doesn't care about them. He only cares about himself in his little circle, and they go to places and spend our money, because a lot of our money never technically showed up there. They ended up back in Pelosi and Schumer's and Mitch McConnell's and the other people's pockets. That's why I'm glad President Trump cut everything off to Ukraine.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's about time. They kept coming over and begging, but this whole war thing's going to be a theatrical thing for a little bit. But I'm interested to start seeing when he's going to travel again, what's going to happen, because I didn't pay attention the last times, like when he walked in front of the Queen and other stuff like that.
I watched that. That was a changing of command. That's what you do when you change, like a squadron commander comes in, a new one. Same exact scenario. I've seen it plenty of times. That's exactly what that's like.
And I wonder how long she's been kept alive for. Because I have a video that is on today. I don't know how long it'll be on for Facebook, but Bionic. It's a little eyeball that's bionic. It's got a little computer chip on top. They pop it right in their eye socket, and actually you can see the green laser coming out of it and other stuff that they're doing with it. But yeah, they're starting to try to get us into cyberpunk kind of crap.
Yeah, where you watch, and what is that one show with that? Looks like a girl, but mostly a robot. What is that called? Where everybody in the city, or mostly everybody, is 3/4 mechanical.
Well, I mean, I just remember cyberpunk is what they call it, but yeah.
Yeah, it's not cybers, and I'll think of the name later till it's getting late.
Yeah.
I didn't paint anything today. It's just in there. But you know what? I can't complain. I've been given work, and Yahoo always provides an avenue for me.
Just as long as you continue with that path you talked about the other day, because
Yep. Well, I am.
it would suck for that to disappear. And I'm keeping up and catching up with the releasing of the shows. It's just a matter of trying to break through the algorithms, which we'll do slowly with getting bots offline.
Yeah, I just wish. Yeah, I wish we could get on YouTube, but I don't know why we get copyrights, because we're displaying other people's parts of their videos.
Yeah, and some of the stuff that we play, when any certain types of musics come through, it will they're dickheads about it.
Oh yeah,
they're really big about that. So some of the stuff that we play does that. And not to mention, I'm pretty sure some of the cursing too, because a lot of people are talking about, oh, we can't say F anymore. And some of the shows that you used to watch, they would say that every now and then.
Yeah.
It's
So
like, beep. It's like,
we'll need to quit using any colorful metaphors.
Well, I don't think we do it not as much as we did at first, and now it's starting to become when it is done, it's done. I don't want to say tastefully, but it's done almost like how it's supposed, like Trump, like how he does. It's not like
It's kind of just, yeah, it's not really like bam. It's kind of like, yeah.
Sometimes we get that way, but that's because we get the righteousness of Yahuwah wanting to flip tables over and whip people because we're so tired of the tyranny. And remember, this is worth half shekel. This is worth half shekel. Oh, and today, your light bill is going to worth 1,000 shekels. Well, we only are able to make 12 shekels a month. How's that going to work? Oh, you owe us that now. It's like,
yeah. It's all the way around. That's why, I'm waiting for my other stuff to start. You know what that is. That better start on time. But
by the way, you could start mentioning that if you wanted to. Other people are doing it. I'm watching the Real America's Voice talk about, oh, I'm on trading and this and that, and then I went into this energy company and they might be the next energy, whatever, because gas is
I just don't want to I don't want to use their name in the show because we can get kind of controversial. They're very neutral.
I know what you mean, Steve. Yeah. Because
I mean, I mentioned I'm a day trader.
Okay. Because
that I also build cars.
No, I mean, I know what you mean, Steve, but I forget about how some people are. Because remember, I showed you that weather guy. I was like, oh man, he sounds like a professional, but he's not. He doesn't have all the loserness with him of the political thing. Oh, it turns out it was. Oh, guys, no political comments. It's like, motherfucker, it's right in the middle of November, November time. No, we're going to say something because this is the time where you pick. Do you want evil or do you want Yahuwah? Do you want to go to heaven? Do you want the parts that you want? It's not AC/DC. It's burning your ass and sometimes cold, sometimes hot, sometimes cold, dark, evil. Spirits are dragging you down. Very unpleasant place.
Oh, spirits, they will continuously try to drag you down.
And I heard that some of it was there's times where it's an endless falling, where you're just falling forever. There's nothing there. You just keep falling. Not because it's an endless pit of hell, but that's just one of the not torture, but one of the things that you would go through. And he said that he prayed to the angel Gabriel, because apparently that's what everybody's taught. And then he helped him bring out. I don't know, Steve. I don't know if that's
the angels tell you not to worship them. In fact, if they come before you and you do,
well, to help them, but yeah,
they say we are servants like you.
I know. I just quoted the man what he said.
I know.
Yeah, you're trying to correct it. No, I get it. But yeah, that's what he said. How the whole story went. It was one of those shorts that we keep seeing, Steve, that kind of get us in that memorized loophole, because you look at it, it's like it's 11 o'clock. Oh shit, man, it's 3 o'clock in the morning already. I gotta go to bed.
Yeah.
You're flipping through, and yeah, it's almost like it's like we talked about earlier, mind control, almost like a little.
It is, and I'm bad at that too. I'm working on alleviating that, especially when I go into gym. I don't even listen to music. And I need to get back into my heavy meditation, also and fasting. It's important to fast.
Oh yeah, that was another thing, a video that probably disappeared of with the prayer, Steve. With prayer, they found the Bible quote that you were talking about, that they with prayer and fasting you could get this certain demon out, and that was the only way to do it. And they actually showed the verse.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened in the video. I'm trying to scroll right now while we do, but if I can't find it. But
actually some of the new prints are missing that.
Yeah, and then people right now want to argue about, oh, well, they don't modify the Bible at all. Well, I mean, we don't mean like, certain ways, but as in that part is a modification. If you go in there and you take out verses, modification.
Right, there's verses missing. In fact, even in what was I looking at the other day? Some of the reprints are missing verses. I know the King James is missing like 17-ish. But something like the new NIV is missing like 200. And they do. I mean, look what happened 1785, man. They took all the apocryphas from the canonized Bible, and they'd been there. That's what I mean.
For too long. They like I said, they go, oh well, someone's gonna pay in the after. It doesn't matter about the afterlife. You know, it just hurts people now. I found the guy about Kuru.
Oh, they haven't seen that in a long time. You can save that for next time.
If it's still there. I mean, I don't mean to say it that way, but I just looked at the video and it's like gone already. It's like, come on, guys, really grow some nuts. I post my video out there.
Well, YouTube is DARPA based, just like Facebook. So they're, they didn't get the memo.
No, well, they're fighting. Just
But they're like a wild animal now, backed in, and he's only in 55, 60 days.
Well, remember I told you about that, Steve, what happened about Anheuser-Busch in St. Louis.
Yeah.
The Pride Parade is so upset that they're not sponsoring them in June, that or just recently when they did a Pride Parade, that they're boycotting Anheuser-Busch. And it's like, oh, you poor little things. You're a little late to the party, first of all. And second of all, what do you little fruit cups? You guys are what, like 1% of the population? But you're the loudest?
Like so low in population, it won't even be noticeable.
Yeah. You're not going to hit them with billions like we did.
No, when we stop. Yeah, we're like E.F. Hutton. People listen. Remember the little commercial?
No.
E.F. Hutton used to be like an investor back in the old days when I was a kid. When E.F. Hutton speaks, people listen. Everybody in the restaurant goes.
I miss the good old days of restaurants.
Yeah,
restaurants got a different attitude now. I mean, different vibe now with the
Well,
cell phones and the.
yeah, you're right. They do. I was looking today. We don't have enough population to keep all these stores open.
We don't have enough population. I'd like to go back out to Colorado and go with you, or myself, or have you come with me too. Go by DIA, which now they have Mount Trashmore by there. And I want to see if all those homes are still empty, because they were empty in 25 years ago. And it's like, who is going to be getting these?
Yeah, I don't know. I just noticed the amount of traffic. I gauge it off the traffic. And I look at all the store closures in like South places. Yeah, there's not enough people. Just like when I watch Beijing, China, like I told you, the video about that on a podcast, how the 2020, it was full, and now it's almost like a ghost town.
Yeah, I think death has happened a lot more than people thought, even here in America.
Yeah,
if you actually
absolutely.
American, are adding, hey, your family members, my family members, all these have died, and they claim for other stuff, but no, it is the COVID, SARS vaccine, or so-called vaccine is what did it to people, period. No ifs, ands, or buts about
Well,
it.
and they're still coming. It hasn't ended. The vaccines are still people because they're creating other symptoms, and then the doctors treat that symptom that's created, because the vaccine's actually designed to create the virus. So the virus wants to live in you, so it's not going to kill you, but it's still going to mess you up. And in some cases, you will die from it.
That's the DNA too. Remember that, Steve?
Yep.
I don't know. It's just wrong. But yeah, I mean, we can keep going on and on and on. But yeah,
I know.
Well, no, I mean, it's
go in.
Well, what you need is some Energizer Bunny. He keeps going and going and going.
Oh yeah, man. You can talk. And if we had like maybe another person like ourselves it would really get interesting.
We did have a person like ourselves, but it was a someone in disguise going, Trump is the Antichrist. Can't you see all the things lining up? And then, not to mention, would never ever go back to using glass because I said I could see you playing solitaire, which is rude because I could sit here and play all sorts of games. You might be able to hear me, playing because a lot of the war games will come through speakers, but that's like, it's just rude. You need to put your full attention. I know earlier I was trying to finish up the video, but it seems like a certain hour, Steve, when I start posting, it'll let me post that night. But after this hour where we are right now, it won't let me post. Like I'll post and it'll roll all night long going, oh, it didn't let me post.
Yeah.
And it's I don't know why it's doing that. I don't know why it just doesn't make any sense. It's all hardwired and yeah. Anyway.
I don't know. There's just a lot going on. There's a lot to clean up.
There is.
That's why Trump says he wants to go a third term.
Well, this is like rehab, Steve. Honestly, first step is to making sure that we all have a problem because it's hitting every aspect. Like I told you, I talked to ladies at the zoo. I go, could you imagine how the lifespans are going to start changing of all these animals at the zoo when we start taking all the poisons out? And I hit him with this when Kennedy helps take out all the poison because he's starting to take out all the dyes and everything because it's not like, oh, Trump said this. It is, here you go, Democrat.
Yeah.
Because it's not like we're just shoving in their faces of Republican because remember they go in there and almost everyone that feeds those animals at the zoo, man, have to, not a choice, have to go to college. You're picking up shit and feeding an animal. I used to do that when I was young. Didn't need a degree for it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but and then when the animals were sick, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to find out, oh, look, the animal's limping. There's something wrong. Or, oh, the animal's not acting right today. Something's wrong,
Yeah. We put too much emphasis on the going to school because we got to have a lot of people that can build and maintain stuff. There's just a lot of basic common sense.
Yeah. No, you're right. I mean, I don't know. I never had any lick of school about construction. I picked it up really easily.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I would be there today if I didn't have my injury symptoms, man.
Oh, I bet.
It was fun building different things. But yeah, also you might want to either change or take that stand from your back because someone's gonna
this.
Yeah, or put something over it, put a hat on it.
Well, no, I was gonna put my other monitor up.
Yeah. I know, but I mean, someone's going to be a smart ass in the comments at some point when people start paying attention.
Yeah.
We're only getting.
What is that in the back? Oh, that's my gun pod. I got a laser. Takes a tripod. See the little lasers on it?
It's your laser gun.
Hey, look at it. It's even changed its color.
Infrared, bro.
Yeah.
Chinese special.